Hey crafty peeps, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to do a little overview of the Scrapbook and Cards Today Jingle and Joy event that occurred on July 25th of this year, so just about 9 or 10 days ago. So this is the kit that we received, and it comes in this nice little pouch that's zippered. And here is the sheet. And this is from the sneak peeks. So you can see already some of the elements that were included in the kit. And the instructors for the event were Megan Andrew, Nicole Spohr, Callie Person, and then Jennifer McGuire did her signature Mix It Up session. Classes started, let's see, there was an introductory message from Catherine Tahan. I think that's how you say her name, from Scrapbook and Cards Today. And then the first class started at 10:30 with Megan and went throughout the day. We were supposed to get a 30-minute break in between the classes, but honestly, most of the instructors ran over to finish their cards, which honestly was fine with me. First thing I'm going to show you are all of the stencils that we got. So check these out. These were made to coordinate with some of the stamps or the dies that were included in the set. And I've already gone ahead and labeled them so that I know what exactly they go with down the line when I no longer am working with this kit. Those were the coordinating stencils, and this is a 5-piece stencil set that makes its own background. So you have some candy canes and little peppermint guys and some berries on the first piece. The second piece is the background, which honestly I mostly used first when I did it. Then we have some greenery, some stars, which this is actually really great to use on its own. And then this layer does the rest of the peppermint candies that were on the first stencil. According to Catherine, they were going to include patterned paper this kit instead, and at the last minute decided to change up to the stencil, which I think we were all pretty glad about that because I feel like you're going to get so much more mileage out of stencils. Feast your eyes on all of these dies. Now keep in mind they did not come on the magnetic sheets. I've put them on the sheets just for my own sanity to keep things organized and a little bit like sorted into some categories. So the first thing we have are some word dies and shadow dies, Joy and Jingle. The name of the event was Jingle and Joy, so of course they have to have those. Then we have some shadow layers for the sentiments in the stamp set, which I'll show. We have a cracker die and the ends. We have a jingle bell, which goes with this die. A little dotted circle die, which is nice for a layering element. And then you have these go with the cracker. And this is a sentiment strip die to go with some of the sentiments. And this is just an ornament bit. On the second sheet, we have, let's show you the back. We have some more little layering dies. We have this great big scalloped edge one, which was really fun to use. We have a dotted square die, and then we have a circle ornament die. Now, to me, if I'm designing this, I'm going to make this die nest inside of this die. But if you'll notice, it doesn't really fit. And I have tried so hard to get it to line up to make a thin frame, but one of them is just not perfectly circular. It's more of an oval shape, if that makes sense. So it does not actually work to cut as a frame, which is a shame. But honestly, the value of this kit is outstanding with or without that tiny element. Just, you know, my own 2 cents. So this piece will become clear in a minute. We have, this die is a base for a Santa. And I have kind of all my little Santa bits in here. The hat, the brim, this is the nose and the mouth. We've got the mustache and eyebrows. We have this little light string, baubles or lights. The string plus the little ornaments or baubles that you can die cut all separately. Now, I did that for one of the cards, which I will show you, but I kind of discovered for me that was just a little too detailed, too much die cutting. And I thought it was easier to just cut this with the string and then use a marker to color these in separately. I did actually just die cut these all from white and colored them in with a marker, and then I kind of had the aha moment, which wasn't too much of an aha, but like, why didn't I just cut this once, color the rest in with markers, and kind of be done with it? So that's what I did. These bits are for the snowman. We have a snowman hat, a snowman nose, and then the circle on the back is actually the snowman's head, which coordinates with the stencils. So you have these that color things in. Santa has one. I will go into that a little bit when I show you some of the cards I made. So that's that one. And then the last one, we have a lot of greenery and poinsettia, however you say it. We have some poinsettias with the base. A little bigger ones, super tiny ones with the base. We have some greenery pieces, holly, some berries. It kind of took me a while to figure that out. I wish there was maybe an instruction sheet. I didn't realize by looking at it that this went on top like this, and then the berries go on top. I honestly thought this was a separate piece. In that sense, I'm not really sure why this is a separate piece, because what does this go with? Don't know. But, you know, use your creativity. I certainly used mine to kind of figure some of that out. So that's that side. And I'm losing things on the back side here. We have these adorable candy canes, which if you follow me on Instagram, you might have already seen. I made 2 cards with them. These coordinate with the stencils. We have this bow. This is like a lollipop, a sucker stick that goes with this circle die. And then this is an ornament. Okay, so those are all of the dies. And to be fair, this is a lot of dies. If you were buying these individually and you had like a set of, say, the poinsettias with the greenery, you had the Santa and the snowman as another set, you had the sentiments, maybe the crackers, the jingle bell, the ornament as another set, and then maybe some of these layering elements, you would easily spend over $100. Because if you look at Spellbinders or Honeybee or any of the companies like Concord and Ninth that have big die sets, they're easily well over $20 each set. And honestly, this is a ton of dies, okay? So really, it was even more dies than last year, which really blew me away how many there were last year. And I believe for the US, the value of the cost of the kit was something like maybe $85 plus $12 for shipping. So really, it was a huge value because it was under $100. And then if that wasn't enough, you got a stamp set. So here are all of your greetings. We've got Merry Christmas, Joy to the World, Season's Greetings, Jingle All the Way, and then some smaller ones which are meant to go into this little sentiment strip there. We've got Spread the Season of, May you find this season in your heart, to you and yours and all the way. And then individual elements, there's the peppermint candy, some snowflakes. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like a spatter type of stamp. 2 different candy canes, some stars, and then this beautiful tree along with this poinsettia type of pattern. And scrapbooking cards today always include some cardstock, which surprisingly I have not actually dug into this portion of the cardstock. I just was using some other cardstock I had. So we got a piece of black, a piece of vellum, a piece of gold matte metallic, I believe, and a piece of acetate, and I want to say 8 to 10 sheets of a layering white cardstock and another 8 to 10 of a heavier for a base. So I did cut into some of the white. It's a good weight, so I appreciate that they included that. So that is the basis of the kit. I'm going to show you what I made. This card was made using this tree stamp. This was a card almost, well, I can't say copied. I mean, that's what a case is. But cased from the first card Megan Andrew made in her class. I did do a small greeting on the inside because honestly, I always forget to decorate or do something to the inside. So I've been trying. So she used this tree stamp and we just measured the midpoint of the card, lined up the first tree, stamped, flipped it over, stamped, and then went about with the pattern there. We've got our joy sentiment, some of the berries and greenery. A really nice card there. Another card from Megan Andrew class, Andrew apostrophe S, Andrew, is this cracker, which is from the die set here. So we've got the cracker and then separate ends. The gold is from the ties. The little bow is also included in the kit, the greenery. The stars I did in gold paste, and that is from, let me find it here. It is from the layering stencil set. So that was a really great idea from Megan to use this as a separate little accent layer. I did this in Hero Arts gold paste, and it has some really nice texture and it's nice and raised. And this scallop die came in the kit as well, the sentiment. And then on Megan's card, she included another cracker on the front. It was just too busy for me, so I put it on the inside. And then the last card from Megan's class, again, I simplified this a bit, was this adorable shaker. So here we have Santa, which is from the dies here. So we have the hat, the brim, the nose and mouth. This is like the face portion, jingle bell. Here's the light string. So I did actually cut these out individually, the string and the baubles. And I did not want to waste 2 different strips of colored cardstock. So I cut them out on white, colored them in with a marker. It's not perfect, but honestly, I think it looks just fine the way it is. And layer that on top. I'm not sure if the other string for stability, perhaps. I'm really not sure. And the shaker mix, I forgot to show you, actually came in the kit. I forgot to put it back in my bag. So Trinity Stamps included this custom mix for the kit, which has a good combination of colors that were used. So we have some iridescent flat glitter pieces, some raised gems, some stars, snowflakes, red, green, blues. Actually, it is a really nice kit. And I'm trying to think. I believe Nicole Spore used it. in her kit. Megan, obviously, in this card, Callie Person had a shaker card as well. So very cute little mix. That was, I think they considered that like our freebie item. And then it doesn't want to go back in the bag. Okay. I'm losing some here. Okay, so the card is just a shaker. I didn't use the acetate. I just used a piece of plastic packaging. Simplified this a bit. Megan had some stamping and stenciling done here. You can see Santa's face you can build with the stencils. So you have the little cheek patches, the eyes. This is accent for the mustache. And then this creates like a beard around Santa, which you can see a smidge of there. Then we did kind of cover that up a little. So that's really cute. And the snowman has one as well. So that was that. Oops. I will show you the cracker stencil since I forgot to with that card. So the crackers had this separate stencil, and you can use, here I used the dots on that piece, the snowflakes there. This used both this outer and the inner. And you've also got the little squigglies, whatever those guys are, to add some accents to the crackers, which is very fun. But then you can also use those for other things, which I will show you. So those were the 3 cards from Megan's class. I did enjoy her designs, so I followed those relatively closely and just took off what was a bit too much for me. This card was from Callie Person's class. Again, this uses, let's see, this is the circle for the snowman. And the snowman also has layering stencils. So we have a little shadow piece for the outside there. Then you've got your eyes, your cheek patches. This little bit is for the nose. And these are kind of some accents of snow. You've got your little coal lump mouth, very cute. And then you've got your circle to cut it all out. The hat die included in the kit here. And then this long piece is actually an accent for the brim, the bow, the ornament topper. Here's the leaf, and then the berries. So everything included in the kit. And I should note that all of the cards I made were made only using the supplies in the kit. Again, this is a simplified version of one that Kelly made in her class. Then I kind of went with the candy theme for a bit. So I showed you, let's see, I'm not sure which one it's on. I showed you the candy cane dies there. Those coordinate with a separate stencil. Here we go. So we have both left and right facing candy canes, which is fabulous. I just used the left on this card. You have your striped portion, and then this does a nice little highlight. Had I waited until my red ink was dry, that might have come out a little brighter, my white pigment layer. So I did go ahead and add some white gel pen details, but you have those. And everyone cut then stencil, so I think that seems to be the way to do those. The holly is 2 layers of dies. So you've got your base, which I did in the darker color, and then you've got the top layer, which I did in green, along with the berries. And this is the same scallop die here, that I used here. Okay, and the only thing I did was run it back through my die cutter and I offset it. So I had a larger piece cut this size. And then what I did was I lined up the scallops and brought them in like maybe 2 scallops worth. And then cut it a little shorter. And then I went back again and I lined it up to cut it shorter in the other direction, if that makes sense. So I still used this die, but I wanted to get the same scalloped pattern and just make it a little more symmetrical because that kind of bothered my OCD little heart. On the candy theme, I also made one with the little peppermint. Now the Facebook group that you get access to with the class is really fabulous because everyone shares their cards and their inspiration, and some people come up with some truly incredible ideas. So someone discovered that the ends for the cracker work great on the peppermint, and it looks just like it's a candy in a wrapper. So I cut that out of vellum, and what I did was nestled it between 2 layers so that it's secure. So I have a layer of white, glued the ends on, and then my top layer so that they're not going anywhere. Now you get these stencils that coordinate with the candy, which makes the highlights as well. And then you have your shadow layer here, which I did in white pigment ink. Again, if I had waited for the ink to completely dry, that would have been a little brighter, but it looks good. Then I added some little leaf-free, a sentiment, and some berries. Now this card, I used the peppermints again, but I finally used the background stencil, the 5-piece stencil set. So let's see. I think, oh yeah, I got it sideways. So there we have the first layer I did in red. And then this is the base, which I did in a very light pink, just so you could see it. I added the greenery. I did the stars again in a gold paste, which I hope you can see there. And then the final layer was the accent for the candies. I did go back in with a Prismacolor pencil and I added some lines to the greenery just to make it pop a little more, to give it some more depth. I added the circle. This is the large circle vellum. This is the dotted circle here. I cut that out. The candy and then the joy sentiment was included in the kit, so I just used the J and cut off the Y. And the sentiment strip and the foliage again. Oh, I forgot to do the inside. And now I have some more die cut heavy cards. This was using the poinsettia dies and layers. I had cut these for Callie or Nicole's class when I did the homework, and the cards were just a little too busy for me, so I simplified them. And I decided to use, where is it? Here we go. I used the dotted square die that came in the kit, and I used it just to emboss, just to add some interest to the base so that my foliage kind of had an anchoring point. I did a little arrangement there, added a few of the shaker bits from the bag, my sentiment, and then I went in with some white gel pen and added that. And then this I also made using the same bits that I had for that class, just used the circle die to emboss instead of the square, and then I omitted the white pen accents. I'm honestly not sure which one I like more because I really like them both. All right. And then I made a couple more cards. This was using the snowman, the snowman's head. and the ornament topper, but this time I turned it into an ornament and added some foliage. I did the same thing with the square die. I embossed it and added my foliage bits. I did tuck in some of the other elements. I'm not sure if you can see here. I have some of these little branch guys that I honestly only figured out at the very end what they were for. And some string, my sentiment. And then I did another one along the same line, foliage and the cracker. And I felt so bad throwing the inside pieces out when I cut the bows. They were just kind of laying on my desk, and I thought, hey, that might be interesting to put on my cracker. So what do you think? Do you like it? I I mean, it's done. It's not like I can take it off now, but I think I like it. And then I added the berries to these little branches. I don't think that was the intended use for them, but I thought they looked kind of cute that way, and it added some extra color. And the last card I have is one I made using the ornament, which, let me see, the ornament, oh, it fell off. This is the ornament die. And the ornament also has a little stencil that goes with it where you can create this little pattern. I decided to omit it, and I used the stencil from the crackers, and I just did this at the top. And then I took this snowflake here on this circle. Now that circle die is this guy, and that is for the peppermint candy. But I thought it would be a cute ornament. I added my sentiment, and then I just went in with a ruler and a pen, and I drew the string. And this is a very clean and very simple card. I just added some white gel pen accents on the end. So that was everything in the kit. Those were my cards. I have 12 cards that I have made in the, gosh, what has it been? 10 days or so since the event happened. I really do think that the scrapbook and cards today one day events are an incredible value because they really do pack a absolute ton into their kits. You really do get your money's worth. It can be expensive because if you think about, well, it's only a one day event and it's just under $100, but I've already got 12 cards, all unique. No two are the same here. I have a whole bin of die cut bits that I have cut and did not use so far, plus a lot of ideas for more cards. These cards were made only using the supplies in the kit. I do think it's an incredible value. If you signed up, let me know how you enjoyed it. Would you sign up again? And if you didn't sign up, do you think you would sign up next time? Thanks for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Be good, do good, and go Bills.